right, and we're live. Hey, everybody. A little bit shorter staff this time. Apparently, StreamYard's hard to use on some things, so we're going to get that all figured out. But it's me and Summer here. We're going to just be us two, which will be perfectly fine. We'll see how it goes. And we're going to talk about episode 2. I just realized I had the other thing on. I thought I had the echo coming back through my headphones. We're fine. We're going to be talking about episode 2, and we'll just get into it. Like I said, we're not going to exactly do what we did last time because doing positive and negatives is kind of hard for an 18-minute episode. But just we'll get right into it. What the basis of this whole thing was us realizing that they're not just getting shipped off to a jail right away and that we're not screwed instantly. So that was nice. Everyone's being incredibly trustworthy right away, which makes me happy. God, I hope it stays that way because it's been 3 volumes where us getting majorly screwed over is just coming around the corner, and I can feel it because it takes about that long before something goes wrong. But what were some things that you really liked as like hit head notes that you want to go over?
I really like that Winter and Penny know what's going on.
Yes.
Like, obviously because I love Winter, so that means she's going to be in the plot, so I'm happy about that. But I just think it's interesting that we're getting more people who know what's going on, because it's giving you more sides of the good guys, obviously, but conflicting thoughts that might come up, which is kind of me with Ruby deciding not to tell Ironwood about what actually happened with Ozpin and about the 3 wishes.
I was so happy that they're literally, everyone always complained, and I get it, that for the first few volumes, Ruby didn't really get a whole lot of character development, and she's basically the main character. She's really taking off with growing up since they've switched to Maya, at least I've noticed.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
I did want to point out, I did find it interesting the look Oscar gives when he decides not to tell about Ozpin, like what actually happened. Yep. Which I think might give us some insight that Oscar might decide to make his own decision soon.
We got a distinct look from him, and we got the distinct looks from Yang and Blake when she started telling about the other part. So
yeah, so I'm sure that's going to pop up next episode.
Yeah, that's for sure. And this is recorded super late because I was at a convention and had some other stuff going on. We're getting the new suit, new clothes next episode. I'm quite excited about that because it's literally airing tomorrow and it was in the thumbnail. So, spoiler. Yeah, that was the first thing I put in my notes. Ruby being smart about who she's trusting. Just a quick note, Nora in the beginning trying to chew through her cables was amazing. They still have humor in the show, just in more, it's less cartoony. Like they still have moments like that, like in volume 4 when her head got supersized when she was laughing at Jean about his pumpkin pizza hoodie. Like they still have moments like that, but they have more like gosh dang it, I think his name was Forrest, was the guy who threw the brick at the bullhead thing. Yeah. And just like him jumping up and down screaming as they're gradually closing that kick. They're really good.
And there's so much motion in him, even though he's like sitting down. He's all, we fight for justice, we fight for peace. You threw a rock at our van. It was worth it.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, they're the writing. They have a lot more writers, and like I said, it's being a lot more smooth. Like as these go along, you can tell more people are getting hired to make the process go a lot smoother, so they can put more into it. What else are we gonna get? This tower idea. That was a lot more sensible than what I thought that was going to be. Because as soon as they showed Amity Arena, I was like, they are going to weaponize the living hell out of that thing because it was in Atlas, and I'm like, communication tower. That makes a lot more sense. And then they're talking about jettisoning the thing into the atmosphere. And I don't know if anyone other than me and anyone watching this has seen Zoid's, it's not Chaotic Sentry. No, it is Chaotic Sentry. It gave me instant flashbacks to where they make it so that one of their carriers can go into space, and then basically the enemy machine, the Death Stinger, literally just sits as a SAM site and then fires death lasers from outer space. I just like
This as a scene.
horror of it getting hacked jumped into my head, and I'm like, good God, they're gonna have to go get that thing out from under control somehow, because Watts is the main enemy in this season from what we can see with him and Tyrion being in there. So freaking Moriarty / Aiden Pierce, from what I could see with him like putting up the traffic barriers and stuff like that, there's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
I have to say though, that whole scene with him walking, he has like no regard. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna walk in front of these cars, gonna turn these barriers on. That's just like, if you ever needed a good way to introduce a character in their whole personality, that's a good way to get an introduction. Like, yeah, we know who he is because we've seen him in past volumes, but I think this is like pure. This is this character. He knows what he's doing. He's looking ahead. He can do so many things at once.
Okay,
And
now
he
go
likes to
ahead.
cause trouble.
Question. When he was holding that umbrella, I saw that he had little
Like buttons.
it looked like he had buttons and crap on his hands. I was gonna say I did not notice it the first time. I noticed it when I just watched it before we recorded this. I thought for a second that his semblance was gonna be technomancy. I don't know if that still could be a thing, and he just does it more controlled through those rings or whatever. Because the first time I saw it, I thought he only had the thing, and he said they didn't
little
rewrite.
thing in his ear.
Yeah, who he was talking to Tyrion with, and he said he didn't rewrite the code. But either way, he's awesome, and I got to meet Chris Sabat this weekend and talk with him, and it was awesome. For anybody who doesn't know, Chris Sabat, guy who does Vegeta, voices Watts, and he's awesome.
If you need a villain, there's a good villain.
Oh yeah, it's great. What was the only thing I'm looking back over my notes here for what we had left? Shockingly, again, people trusting each other. Aesops right away are just like, yo, we screwed up. Sorry.
Dog Connors is my favorite. His little tail's wagging. I'm not happy about it. He's all happy. You know, my favorite thing has been people screen capping Blake staring at him like enemy sighted.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I hope that continues to be a thing, that his tail is like his tell, that when they know he's lying, like when he's actually happy about stuff, his tail is wagging.
He's just like, I just couldn't get over it. I was like, that's funny.
Oh yeah.
I just love these designs now that we've gotten to see them a little more.
Mm-hmm.
Like, their models are really great looking. Like, ever since the shift to Maya, there hasn't been too much variation. I mean, even with Poser, they didn't have a lot of variation, but these models are so well done.
Oh yeah.
Like the girl you keep referring to as being like Nora, she's just beefy. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. And like each one of them, like I should have popped the list back up. But there was Vine, the Zenyatta looking guy in the background. He looks awesome.
Yeah.
There was Harriet, can't remember her last name, my new waifu for this season. Clover, the rather big borderline Russian stereotype that was like whipping Ruby up and down. I can't think of her name.
What are their names?
The one that when I first saw her thought she was a man, but she's not. And shockingly has the same weapon as Nora. I believe we mentioned that last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Clover, obviously, he seems more, I was expecting him to be more
like,
gosh dang it, more cocky still. I expect him to be kind of a, excuse my language, dickbag, but he wasn't.
He's like very friendly. I don't know if you can trust that though.
Yeah. Are you thinking, a lot of people are thinking that one of them in that circle is leading crap out to Watts?
I mean, Watts is obviously connected somehow to what's going on. Maybe he is just hacking information. But the Aesops, I mean, the first time we see them, they're like, how we took you out so easily. As we got to meet them, they kind of mirror some of the other characters. Like, there's the obvious fact of Clover's got good luck charms all over him. They've got a dog faunus opposed to a cat faunus. You've got a beefy girl who's overly friendly, similar to Yang and Nora.
Yep.
And then you got the weird Zenyatta guy. Zenyatta. He's all
yeah.
off-putting. So it's kind of hard to say. Maybe it's a front. Maybe they are going against, or maybe they're just set up to be like that.
Okay.
But I mean, I feel like Clover does seem a little suspicious, just in his overall approach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, we'll have to wait until.
I was gonna say, but we need more. Yeah, it's hard to go off of just 2 interactions still.
Yeah, and like the next episode, the synopsis is that they show them the ropes of how stuff is done, so they'll be
We'll
getting their
definitely get more.
clothes. Yeah, we'll get probably about 10 minutes of that because the rest of it will be them getting their weapons and stuff upgraded. The other thing that's a lot of people are bringing up on Tumblr, and it could be a thing, but everyone just needs to have sadness in their life, that everyone thinks that Tyrion just killed Pietro.
Yeah, I saw that popping up. I rewatched the episode. I can't tell if that's the shop or not, but I feel like Maria is with him,
That's the same thing I said.
and she's a huntress. Like, she had years of being a huntress under her belt. Even if she's blind, I'm sure she could tell if something was going on.
And
so maybe
also,
that was someone else. Who
well,
knows?
how I'm remembering this, they're walking down the street, and then
Right.
they're on a main city block, and then the door to Pietro's place is facing out toward the city block. Now, if I was looking at it correctly, the door that Tyrion was in goes out toward an alley, unless it's like a back door. Very well could
Yeah.
be. But again, this guy had a freaking spider walking chair. His daughter is a robot superwoman. You can't tell me that there's not some failsafe, something to protect him in his office. Said shady person would come in there.
That's kind of my thing. And I feel like, obviously, Mantle doesn't have the best setting around it. Like, there's, like, just upset people all the time. I feel like someone who's technically considered an elite in Atlas would have some security on his home.
Yeah.
I'm still thinking that could be someone else. I mean, we can't just say that Watts is only there for Team Ruby and all that. I mean, Watts is turned against Atlas. I'm sure there's plenty of people there. And no offense, Tyrion's a psychopath, so he might have killed someone for the heck of it.
He did, and it's like they said, they need to keep moving. And I do see your question. We're going to get that to in a second. Don't worry about it. So we're not ignoring you. We're just finishing through this. Because that's going to tie in what we're actually talking about. Yeah, he's look at him weird. Like, I guarantee you that waitress that was at that hotel that he found when he was looking for crows dead.
Right. She's probably her own full blood somewhere.
Exactly, but again, it's like Pilot Boy. You're in one shot. You're gone.
They turn to dust.
I don't know. Because me and Admin Crow thought that as well, because the first fanfic that we wrote, we did that. Then we looked back. Other people have died in Ruby, but the only one I can remember turning to dust was Pyrrha.
Here in Ozma, Ellie brought it up. That guy from the village in, like, what is it, volume 4, the first village that Team Ranger comes across. That's right. He didn't turn into dust either. Maybe it's certain ways.
I'm guessing if it has to do with, like, obviously Crow or good lord, Ozpin made the maidens, and then the gods came down. It has to be some magical way that they get killed, because honestly, we still have no clue what exactly Cinder did to Pyrrha to kill her. It's like she kind of just like deatomized her pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and then Ozma, he got pretty much Thanos snapped. I don't know, like, they didn't even say anything. He just went freaking SpongeBob and Patrick Deathlight with him for a little bit. And
Ozma.
Yeah. I don't know. And that was speaking of that, that was a really good blood tech for how they set that up, the direction of that whole scene.
Slowly seeping out.
Yeah. I don't know. You could have had Tyrion killing one of the supporters for Robin for anything. Romeo.
Yeah, that's true. It could be one of her supporters. I mean, she's trying to become a chairman for Atlas. Maybe she's a threat. Who knows?
True. All right. Before we get to it, we had a question sent in by one of our fellow admins, Penny. Do you think that Watts is going to hack Penny? She's terrified for her life. Maybe. They said they didn't upgrade code, so there is a possibility that we'll get a end of volume or mid volume fight with them. I really personally don't want to see Penny die again, but
This was enough.
once was enough. I had my heart ripped out, and then it was reborn 500 times when I got to see her come back as the most adorable robot I've ever seen. But you could also do the whole she gets hacked, and then through the power of friendship, she undoes the hack. So it's whatever. And again, as long as her core doesn't get destroyed, she's not technically dead.
So I will say, with Watts being like this known technician guy and robot girl, I can see it possibly having some connections.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he hacks into Penny to get information. She's a top person in Atlas now.
Yeah,
working with Ironwood.
That brings up another question. This could just be a continuity error because they didn't plan on bringing Watts in yet. But technically, Watts was the maker of that Rook program. For most people to see when Cinder is looking through all the students, it's got Watts's W in the corner there.
Mm.
So it's widely believed and might have been confirmed that he was the one that set that hacking program. Hacked all the Atlas mechs and all the security and stuff, but never hacked Penny. Again, they didn't introduce him yet, so they could just be like, hey, you didn't hack Penny. Still could do it. But it would be nice if Pietro was like, no, this is my daughter. The code for her, only I know. No one else is hacking her.
I mean, he seems to show pride in what he makes. I mean, he saw Yang painted her arm, and he's like, you painted it.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. God, I love that.
I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have some firewalls on his daughter.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if also Ironwood is fully aware that he's like, no one. And especially after what happened. They openly got hacked. Why on God's green earth would you have her have basic code? She's a walking super weapon.
Well, then she does have her own soul. So maybe, I mean, can you hack a soul?
That is a very good question. That could be it. Again, if she gets hacked, that could be the thing where it's like, nah, sorry, outdid it, whatever. And that could show a really cool moment in there. But all right. There were some other things I wanted to mention.
Ironwood and Crow's hug. I loved it.
It was.
I love it for like a couple of reasons. One, shipping tool, of course. That's all over Tumblr right now. They're like, yes, they hugged. Second of all, I want to go against everyone thinking he bugged him or something. I do think Ironwood generally was just happy to see his, well, not friend, but ally.
Yeah.
Because originally it was him, Ozpin, Glinda, and Crow.
And with Lionheart would be in that group, right?
Well, and then Lionheart, yeah.
Yeah, and then whoever...
The other teacher.
Yeah.
That we still haven't met.
Mm-hmm.
But you figure Glinda's basically not around. Ozpin's dead. And also not around. Literally, Crow's the only other person that's been through all this with him for the longest time. That's gotta feel kind of good for the poor guy. You saw how he was slowly deteriorating in Volume 4. Like, falling apart, just getting more frantic about everything. And we see where that's led him now. To being seen like a dictator, like Yang said.
True. That is very true. And honestly, if they were going to hack anything, if they wanted to be really clever about it, they could put a minuscule, tiny hacker on the relic. He just handed it back to her.
Like, honestly, I trust Ironwood. I want to trust Ironwood. I think his main issue is he's just paranoid right now. He's scared and paranoid.
He has every right to be.
So the only people he's going to trust are people he knows, which is why he told Winter and Penny about everything.
Yep, exactly. Because Winter's Winter, and Penny, like you said, most likely has something safeguarding against other things getting to her. And then Another comment from our admin Penny. Maybe it was more valuable for Penny to die than for Watts the hacker. I think it was a better chance for like my heart to get ripped clean out of my chest. But like they even point blank said in the episode that how they wanted her to be shown to be killed. And like you said, that could be leading in exactly what you're saying more than I'm thinking about it. That Atlas put a robot in the thing. How can they be trusted when they snuck a, technically, I guess she'd be an android, into the fighting tournament when nobody else knew about it except for
like not even Oz knew about it.
No,
That's how well that was a secret.
Yeah, exactly. It was a thing more of to like show her off, which they could have done too if you would have, whatever. Which again, it's like how. This is one of my biggest things. Everyone's like, we don't know Penny is a robot, but I understand the logic with we have Coco, who's literally hiding a minigun in her purse. The backpack with the freaking like 14 unfolding swords that come out and like shoot laser blasts. I'm like, come on, guys. We got to have some semblance of somebody's asking a question here at some point.
I mean, you have a girl who could literally control polarity. So
yeah, I guess that is.
I mean, and we do know now that people can have similar semblances. So
yeah, that is true. What else do we want to say? Gosh dang it, there was something else that I wanted to say. It's completely escaping me. But what are some things you hope to see in the next episode?
Well, and this kind of streams from what I said in the last episode about how Oscar and Crow are both kind of separate from the main group, and I feel like that's leading to storylines. I feel like you got more of that in this episode. Like you had Oscar look to Ruby. We know that he's going to have some interaction with Ironwood from the opening. So I do find it adorable the way Ironwood talked to Oscar down on one knee looking at him like that. I think that's going to lead into something because he didn't know how to refer to Ironwood after that.
No.
Obviously, he doesn't need an outfit update. So he's probably going to be spending time with Ironwood.
Yeah.
And then again, Crow's like really taking a backseat to everything. Even when they like all leave to meet up with the Aesops, he stays back. Like, yeah, that was to lead into him and Ironwood's interaction, but he's with Ironwood at the moment while they're all getting a tour with Penny. So I think he's going to have some like B plots in a sense, which are obviously probably going to link in with Robin Hill as the opening shows as well.
Yeah.
So I guess my hopes is where those story arcs are going to go. And obviously we're getting Nora backstory. And I feel like we're getting little tidbits here and there. Like maybe she lived in Mantle before she ran off and found Ren.
Yeah, like she, like, of all the things where they're like, we're going to get a character's backstory, and then they said Nora, like, my brain literally broke. I'm like, where? How? What? And then, the closest thing is literally, and again, I can't think of her name, the chick has her hammer.
Right. Well, and then in the first episode, her response to when they're talking about Atlas being above Mantle and all that, what was her line? It was something like, yeah, it depends on who, if you're the one looking up at it, though. Like, there's a lot of disdain in her voice in that moment. And, like, yeah, we focus more on the guy who lashes out at Blake when she makes a similar comment 2 seconds later, but not towards Nora. I still find that interesting.
True. It very much, and like we just know that she was an orphan when she found Ren. How she got there, we don't know. She very easily could have snuck up on a ship, but she obviously was wearing the clothes that she was probably wearing for months at that point because
she's just all covered in dirt and all that.
Exactly, and being picked on, and she could have came from there. That's very true. She very easily could have. I'm just hoping that we get an honest to God like meeting the team segment. Like they get proper, you cycle through all their weapons. I'm not saying I want to see it for fan fiction purposes, but we get like a proper like weaponing up scene where everyone's going through their stuff, everything. I can understand that could be an entire freaking episode, but I would really like to see it where they don't just breeze past the whole lab time and they're just there with their new stuff. Because what you can see from the intro, like Yang is getting a freaking fire cannon attached to her arm.
See, that's my hope, but Ruby's always been kind of off-ish when it comes to outfit changes. Like, the first time we see new outfits was Volume 2. They're just kind of settling them. There's no explanation. They just put on some stylish clothes for their secret missions. Volume 4, we get new outfits as well. The only one who really gets some explanation is John, but that's just because of the armor plating.
Yep.
You get like no explanation on why Ruby's changed a little, or even Nora or Ren.
Nobody. Like Yang is like, she obviously had some clothes and she's like, I'm different now.
Yeah, like Yang, at first she's got the bum look going on until next volume.
Yeah. Penny, thank you.
Explanation.
Yeah. Penny just said the character's name is Elm. Thank you.
Elm, thank you, Penny.
It was something simple. But yeah, you have a good point. We have not gotten a good explanation behind any change.
Well, I mean, even Oscar, he just disappeared. Everyone's like, where's Oscar? And then, the jokes from Tumblr. He was shopping. I mean, you're not wrong. He was shopping.
And like, Blake hacks her hair clean off.
I really want that to get some symbolicness or something. I mean, and then there's the whole thing of her weapon having a little yellow on it. Mm-hmm. Like, those two things alone have a lot of story stuff that can be worked with. So I'm really hoping there's some focus. I'm not like expecting it though.
Yeah, and someone pointed it out to me because someone went nuts on a shipper on Tumblr when the picture got posted of her with her sword being fixed. I want to say it's Japanese, where they fuse things together using gold.
Yeah.
I can't think of what it's called.
It starts with a K. I can't pronounce it. But I know what you're referring to. It's the process of fixing things with gold.
Yeah, but it's like one thing that irritates me with every single promo picture of Blake that is in like the how they always say, I don't know what to call it, but it's how they always show the cover art for these Ruby volumes where it's slightly colored differently. Gamble Shroud never looks like what it does in the show.
Yeah.
It looks like a sleek katana sheath ever since Volume 4. Are we finally going to get that now? Because there was something that supposedly Monty wanted to change what that sword looked like around Volume 3. Like, they confirmed that he had said that a long time ago. I want to see Yang's horror to everyone's hair being cut off. Penny just said in the comments that she wants to see Yang's horror to everyone's hair being cut off. Good Lord. Ren
grows his hair out more, and from the concept art, it looks like Nora braids it, so...
Yeah, that would be fun, where you just walk in and she's like, well, she's getting a haircut, I'm braiding Ren's hair. And then, like, I can't remember if I came up with this or if someone suggested it to me and I agreed with it. Jean's hair, well, this I just agree with. Jean's hair looks a lot better in the actual animation.
Yes, his hair is great. Stop picking on him, everyone.
It looks awesome. And part of me thinks everybody in this, with the exception of Ruby, looks like they were more tailored to look like they were representing the Ace operatives. Like they were more presented to look like a force that was helping Atlas. Like Ren is completely stylized. He's got like a sheath for his blade. Nora has like the most less like bomber jackety thing that she's ever had. Weiss looks very presentable. Ruby, like I said, looks like an anime protagonist. She's like the only one. Jean has jeans, actual boots, and like a straight haircut. Everyone looks more, I want to say more formal to a degree.
Which you make a good point, because even like Weiss's ponytail is braided.
Yeah.
Which keeps it a little more tight. And it does look like they're going to be working with them. And even from the trailer that was being put out when they're like going into the mines or whatever, when we first got a look at their outfits animated, maybe them helping out Ironwood is basically being part of the Aesop's almost.
It could be. And
it definitely looks like Ruby's kind of, even though she's like the de facto leader in this stuff, she is still kind of being standoffish. like with her decision to hold information back from the opening of her like looking off to the side, and she's like the only one looking in the direction that she is on the final shot there.
That's true. I didn't think about that. And then someone posted that shot of that like Oval Office looking room, and then he split it down the middle on Tumblr, where they're like pretty much the side that's going to agree with Ruby and the one that's not, and it was pretty much just Team Ruby and then everybody else. So we'll see. If we got a whole 3 volumes, most likely that we're going to have an Atlas, and there's already a piss ton going on within 2 episodes. So we'll see. What else? I don't know. I don't know what else. Is there any last thoughts that you kind of want to see go on in the next episode or soon?
I mean, predictions, I guess. Obviously, I think we might just get their upgrades, obviously, and probably them settling into working with Ironwood. I kind of want a little lead into Robin, maybe, because we know a little bit about her. We know her gang is the Happy Huntresses. We probably won't meet her yet. That's probably a little off still.
Do you think... Now, this would be us getting towards the first 3 volumes levels of background characters, but could you see them introducing her Happy Huntresses and all of them being like the Merry Men?
That would be funny, actually.
It would be awesome. I think that would be great. They would have, and I mostly want to see it for how they handle the names.
Yeah, I am curious about that. I mean, obviously they changed Robin's name up a little for color and all that. So I'm sure they'll find a way, like, who's our little John?
It'll probably be little Jen now, because I believe they're all, because he said Huntresses.
So it seems like her main group is female.
Yeah.
Even though he's considering himself as following her, so.
Yes.
Also, I just want to point out when he's talking to the Aesops, that was the first time I got banned. The second time. He's so proud of himself.
Yes.
He might be my favorite character, not gonna lie.
He's amazing. He's so good. I hope that he just becomes like a dumb reoccurring joke throughout it.
I just want him to keep coming back for no reason, but to make me laugh.
He is good. He's just like that one person that keeps getting rearrested. Like they have to run into him like a couple of times.
He's gonna be our cabbage guy.
Yes. That would be great. I really don't. I think I'm good. I don't have any other thoughts really. Both of these, I need to test them on my burner channel before I put them up. All 3 of these episodes will likely be up before the weekend, and then we'll be back to a regular schedule because I should not be gone. I want to have family things I don't need to get into happen, but I was incredibly busy and couldn't get stuff uploaded. But these should be back on a regular schedule. Summer, thank you very much for joining me. Coming a regular on here, and I'm appreciative. Where can people find you, and what are you up to? Oh, Jesus.
I just have to throw that in there. I go by Ray Sketchin on Facebook and Instagram, where I post cosplay photos I take of people and artwork.
Okay. I myself, on this channel that this will be uploaded on, Organoid Zero, did my very first cosplay. I got some photos sent back to me that people took of me, and I have a couple that I took myself. So that'll be being put up on there, along with all this stuff. And then both of us are on Remnants... Let's take that back. Ruby Remnants Finest on Facebook. So if you want to check it out, we are all admins there. We do stuff like that. And I can't say what, because I haven't figured out what I want to do with it yet. But the con that I was busy at that I missed this last weekend, I have a giveaway that has to deal with the main forecast. So as soon as I have it ready, I will let you guys know. But it'll have to do with writing some shipping scenes. So we'll get to that. Everybody, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you for the next episode. Don't know who will be on it, but see ya.